So let's get started with day 2 Q&A session, and the first doubt is from Amarjit Panhalkar. Okay, so Amarjit says, is it possible to hide technology from Webalizer? No, it's not possible to hide technologies from Webalizer, okay, because you are using a lot of third-party components, and it's okay to expose your technology. It's nothing harmful, but you just need to ensure that whatever you are using, that is updated, okay, that is with the latest version. If you are using any external JavaScript, if you are using any external jQuery, if you are using any external framework, okay, all the third-party components that you are using should be updated. So of course the detail will be covered in A9 using components with known vulnerabilities. Alright, so next, what is recommended VPN we can use for testing purpose? So I personally use NVPN, okay, nvpn.net. It's a paid VPN. I purchase it for my team and myself, and we use it. Apart from that, in order to use a free one, you can use OpenVPN. Alright, there are a lot of different VPN softwares like RedVPN, ExpressVPN, Hotspot Shield. OpenVPN is the fine one, okay, you can use it. Yeah, there are a lot of VPNs. You can just Google it out, it's simple. Can we get some more reference material pointers for authorization bypass, breaking door to drill? Okay, that's it, that's authentication bypass. So what you want, more reference material pointers? I mean, what's that? More reference material pointers for authentication bypass? I'm not sure what's that, okay? You can type in the public chat later on. Is ngrok good for URL redirect testing? Is the free version enough for such testing? Yes, ngrok, see, once you set up the ngrok, you just have your own website, okay, which is publicly accessible. So you can treat that URL as a website, okay, which is internet accessible. It's publicly accessible. So if you want to test the URL redirection, you can use the ngrok URL, completely fine, no problem, and the free version supports that, not an issue. Can we say XSS is a way of manipulating broken authentication? So with the help of cross-site scripting, okay, we can fetch the session cookies. We can fetch the session cookies, and we can take over the session. We can we can do session hijacking, we can do cookie grabbing, and in that sense, of course, we can say that XSS can help us to do authentication bypass or to take over the session. All right, so but the vulnerability is cross-site scripting. Understand what is the vulnerability? It is due to a lack of input validation, okay. As the inputs are not getting validated, you are able to inject the JavaScripts. That is what the main vulnerability is. Then the impact of XSS, which is cookie grabbing, it is related to authentication, like broken authentication and broken session management, because with the help of JavaScript we are able to fetch the cookies, okay. So that's it with Amarjit's doubt. Next doubt is from Safi. All right, is XSS still worth trying today, nowadays? Okay, of course XSS is still worth, okay, and will always be worth. You just have to look for cross-site scripting, and of course it is worth 100% worth. Okay, under security misconfiguration, okay, you have doubts. Is there any way to access the backend script? So we uploaded a shell, right? We uploaded a shell using arbitrary file upload vulnerability. So with the help of that shell, you can of course access the backend script. Whatever the data is being stored on the server, you have complete access of the server if you can upload the shell. So that's what I have shown you. When using the billion lol, what we get or what we supposed to do after crashing the XML parser? So that's basically, it's kind of a DOS attack on the XML parser, okay, and it is a valid attack. That's kind of a DOS attack, that DOS as in denial of service. If anyone does not know that this term DOS, it is called as denial of service. So you are denying of using a service to all the users, okay. So for example, let's say recently, if anyone knows, I'm not sure how many of you know that recently, yesterday only, Cloudflare went down. Cloudflare, okay, if anyone knows Cloudflare, it's a CDN, it's a firewall, it's a hosting service of it's all the service into one. So Cloudflare went down and a lot of websites in the world went down. Okay, so because a lot of websites are relying on Cloudflare. Now understand, if on a particular web application, okay, if there are thousands of users, and if I crash the XML parser, then the service related to this XML parser will be down for all the 1,000 users, and that's what the impact of this vulnerability is. Okay, it's not only getting crashed for yourself, you are crashing XML parser which is on the server side, and it will not be available for thousands of users when you are doing this, and that's why it is called as denial of service attack, and of course it is impactful. Same question for 42.zip file, of course. So for this zip bomb attack, you are crashing the unzipping server or the unzipping functionality, and server may get crashed. So I've explained that if the unzipping functionality, okay, is done on the same server as of the application server, then the application server will be crashed. If there is a separate unzipping server apart from the application server, then unzipping server will be crashed. So based on that, of course it will lead to a DOS attack, but the impact differs based on where the unzipping server is. These two techniques can become POC for the vulnerability. So they are themselves the vulnerability. The vulnerability is like XML is able, they don't have any restriction of third-party XML. So we can inject our own XML and we can execute it. Okay. Alright. So I hope this answers your question. Next doubt is from Sushant Divar. Okay, if a site is showing the content we wrote in the login page or any other search tab within the website, but not showing in the page source when we search the contents there, in this case, is XSS possible, and if yes, then how? If a site is showing content we wrote in the login page, okay. Okay, in this case, that web application may be using API. Okay, in such cases where whatever data you are passing, okay, in the login page or the search tab, and if it is showing on the web page, but if it does not show in the page source, then possibly the web application is using the API in the backend, and in such cases you have to find out the reflection point. If it is not getting reflected in the page source, it simply means that script is not coming back, okay, from the server. So you have to identify where the script is getting reflected, and on such particular endpoints you can try out cross-site scripting. Okay, so yeah, that's it. As we always have to make different payloads to be able to execute the XSS. Is it necessary to learn JavaScript so that we could be able to make a lot of payloads? Yes, if you learn JavaScript, it would really help you. Okay, but if you are not learning JavaScript and if you still want to do XSS, I have showed OWASP XSS filter evasion cheat sheet in the presentation. Okay, so if you go to OWASP XSS filter evasion cheat sheet, there are a lot of different payloads available on OWASP XSS filter evasion cheat sheet. Let me quickly open that. OWASP XSS, yes, here it is. Okay, so as you can see, these are different scripts for different purposes. Alright, so you may read out this, and then if you feel like this tag, okay, suits your particular need, then you can use it. Or if you are a complete beginner, if you don't understand anything, be it simple, okay, keep it very simple. You just have to do trial and error. Take the script, try to inject it, try to execute it. If it is executing it, okay, then bingo, you have got XSS. If it is not working, try this script. If it is not working, try this script. Okay, likewise, you will get an idea gradually that on what type of functionality what script is working. Okay, so if you are a complete beginner, if you do not know JavaScript, just do trial and error with the help of all these payloads. Okay, with the help of all these payloads, and you will be able to find out cross-site scripting for sure. So that's what this filter evasion cheat sheet is. Now next doubt is from Susovan Garai. Alright, can you show one more example of it for For which thing? For which thing? So one you can ask me in the public chat later on. Next doubt is from Arvind. Difference between a XSS and a CSRF vulnerability. Okay, does DOM based XSS get stored in the web server even when the script gets executed directly in the browser? So your first question, okay, difference between an XSS and CSRF vulnerability. So of course XSS and CSRF both are different. You are going to learn about CSRF tomorrow. Okay, does DOM based XSS get stored in the web server? So I have mentioned that thing clear in this slide, that for a DOM based XSS it is not required to store the script in the server, okay, because it directly executes in the browser's DOM environment. But due to the functionality of a web application, your script may get stored into the database, and there could be a possible stored XSS also. So it could be two XSS at the same point of time, DOM based and the stored XSS. Okay, it could be there. Next is for other user specific parameters other than ID, how do you filter numbers or parameters in between URL using Google Docs? Excuse me. Okay, for the user specific parameters, okay, numbers or parameters. So I simply type down the dork like this. So let's say site dummies.com in URL. Now if I am not sure what different parameters are available on this website, what I can do is star question mark is equals to, or simple without star also. So now I will see, and if I know that this website is built on PHP or HTML, then I can try using .html question mark is equals to something, and then I can see different URLs available over here. Okay, so let me give you another example. The mobileindian.com in URL.html question mark is equals to. Alright, so over here we have different URLs available, and they may be vulnerable to this. What I can say, yeah, this is what I just wanted to show you. Someone asked me yesterday what different thing we should look for, we should look apart from .php, and I told you that you should look for .html. Okay, so this is the live demonstration of the same. Can you see, this is .html page. Actually the web page is built using PHP code, but they have saved this page as .html. This is their mistake, but due to their mistake sometimes we miss the vulnerability. So you have to look for .html also. And now these are different parameters available over here. Now I was not knowing that there is a parameter called as str before doing the Google Doc. What I can simply do is I can inject a single quote. I can see are we getting any error or not. So no error in this case in a string, and now I can simply add as you can see, you have an error in your SQL syntax, and this is vulnerable to SQL injection. So of course I can go ahead and I can do injection, but I just wanted to show you apart from .php you can try .html also. So I hope this helps. Perfect. Next doubt is there any other way other than a robot.txt to find out if website is hosted on a Linux server? Of course. I mean, you can simply go to Webalizer. Okay, Webalizer or built with will say on what particular server the website is built on or hosted on. It's simple. How do you identify meta tags in robot.txt, and what are meta tags? Okay, so meta tags are like what I can say is it's kind of an HTML tag, and in that meta tag you can define a lot of things. Like you can define if you want to if you want some referrer or no referrer, and if you want this particular page to be indexed on different search engines. So meta tags are used for that. How do you identify meta tags in robot.txt? So robot.txt is different, meta tags are different. Both can prevent like indexing. Okay, so both can prevent the website or a web page from indexing on the different search engines. What do you exactly mean in common terms by abusing XML parser. Okay, abusing as in we are crashing it. Okay, so we are crashing XML parser. That's what abusing XML parser is. Any other attacks other than billion laugh attack for abusing XML parser? No, this is the one which we can use for abusing the XML parser. Apart from that, we can do XXC, that is XML external entity attack. Yeah, we can do that. We can do XML injection. So that would help us to get the data from the server. XXC and XML injection are of course the attacks that you can try if you are having an XML parser kind of stuff on the web application which you are accessing. Okay. So did I miss any question? Just okay. Yes, I missed this. When you found any vulnerability from this normal site, after reporting to them, what if site owner make a police report instead? So of course, if you are finding out a problem on any normal site and if they don't run a bug bounty program, and if they complain to police, of course you can get caught, and that is why I always suggest to use a VPN. Okay, if you are just practicing on normal websites and if you have no intentions to do bug bounty but you just want to practice on real-time websites, so you can use VPN and you can do it. Have you been in this situation? See, like I reported a problem. Yeah, I can say I have been in this situation. Okay, I reported a problem to one of the company when I was just a beginner like you, and they told me that this is not the correct way. Okay, they have not asked me to do security testing and I should not be doing that. So from that point of time I just got it that people will not like you even though you are helping them. Okay, they will only follow the processes and the policies, and they are right in their own way. Okay, so I don't have any objection on that. So it's okay. We have to follow the rules. It's perfectly okay. But I will tell you the workaround. I will tell you the workaround tomorrow. If you are able to find out any problem on any web application, what you can do. Okay, I will tell you the workaround. I mean what you can do without getting caught. Okay, you can still report a vulnerability to them and you may get Hall of Fame or bug bounty from them also without having any constraint on you or any restriction on you or any complaint against you. I will inform you about that tomorrow. So we just completed this. Okay, through Wireshark we got the access to other colleagues' details in case of insecure website, but I tried the same by using Burp Suite, keeping the intercept on, but it was possible only on my PC. Is it possible to extract the details similarly as Wireshark by Burp Suite also? No, Burp Suite is not a network interception tool. Understand, Burp Suite is not a network interception tool. There are a lot of different protocols on a network. I mean the data which floats on the network are not only the HTTP data. So there are a lot of TCP data, UDP data. Everything can be captured with the help of Wireshark, not Burp Suite. So you require Wireshark to do man-in-the-middle attack, and with the help of monitor mode enabled, you have to enable the monitor mode in Wireshark, and then you can capture requests, like capture the network traffic of your colleagues. For that you need to have Alpha card in your system. In some system Alpha card comes by default, and for some systems you have to purchase an external Alpha card. Okay, we completed this. How is script tag stripping done? Script tag stripping done with the help of different functions. Okay, so it depends on what regular expressions if it depends on what function developer has implemented to strip the data. Okay, so if there are any standard functions used by the developer, it works accordingly. If there are any custom, if developer wants to create a custom function, he may be using some sort of validation regex, and based on that he may be stripping the script tag. there are ready-made functions available for stripping the script tag. Okay, so there are libraries called as HTML Purify. Okay, you search for HTML Purify, which is a library which does this. It strips the script tag. Why am I unable to see the information of the owner of the domain? Is it privacy protected? Yes. So like, of course, when you purchase a domain, you have a feature called as privacy protection. If you purchase it, your details will not be shown to the entire world. Okay, but still there are sometimes bypasses available for that also. Next doubt is I'm unable to see the spider tab in Burp Suite Community Edition. I'm not sure with the latest Community Edition of Burp Suite whether they have the spider tab or not. I have got this another query from this guy, so I'll check and I'll let you know. Okay, if it's not there, I'm not sure. I'll check and let you know. That's it with day 2, guys. I hope I have answered all the questions, and now I'll come up in the public chat, and if you have any doubts, just feel free to ask me. Alright, any site reference or tutorial reference for what, Amarjeet? Query. In both the cases reflected and stored, there are two parts. In our own session, we can confirm if the field is vulnerable or not. Okay. Send a JavaScript to the server or DB, which will collect the users other users' cookie details or any other details which can be used for hacking. Can we report vulnerability based on point 1 only? Now understand, I think you have misunderstood the vulnerability, Anita. So XSS is like, first of all, you test the web application, you try whether you are able to inject the script and execute it or not. Okay, then you try whether the session cookie, okay, whether the session cookie is having HTTP only flag set or not. If the session cookie if the HTTP only flag set is not set on session cookie, then with the help of JavaScript you can fetch the cookies. So first of all, you can try with your own website, in your own account. Understand, you can try in your own account. Once you try that, if it's working for you, then you have to find out a way how you can send a particular a URL to your friend, okay, who is the user of the same web application, and if he clicks on that particular URL, then in that case he will be trigged and the cookies from your particular friend's browser will be sent to your particular server. Okay, that's how it works. With the help of JavaScript, we are not accessing the cookies which is stored on the server. Understand, JavaScript cannot access the cookies stored on the server. With the help of can we report vulnerability based on point 1 only? No. Nowadays all the bug bounty program do ask for working proof of concept. Okay, working proof of concept. So if you show them this thing, point number 2, they will be able to validate your XSS and they will triage your vulnerability most probably. They will simply not do access your vulnerability with the help of only point 1. They might, but still a lot of web applications are asking for working proof of concept. So make sure you do this as well and show them that there is a potential chance of cookie grabbing. Okay, Imtiaz, cache hold. Okay, can you just elaborate on that cache hold? I'm not sure, Imtiaz, please. For XSS cheat sheet can refer to hacker name Brute Logic also. Yeah, okay. There is a hacker called as Brute Logic, and he does have a lot of payloads. He does have his own plugin called as KNOXSS, okay, Nox. So you can use that if you want. Sir, there is another doubt in the Sushant Devar column on the right hand side. I will check it. Okay, if I have not checked it, I will check it. Doubt, please, one more example of IDEOR and elaborate a little more how to find critical IDEOR vulnerability. So everywhere on the web application, everywhere where you see any user specific IDs, any user specific IDs. You just have to manipulate this and try whether you are able to access the another user's details or not. Okay, do one thing. Sign up with 2 accounts. Okay, 2 test accounts. Open one test account in your Mozilla Firefox, open another test account in your Opera. Both are different accounts, and with the help of one account, try to access the another account details. Okay, if you will do in this way, you'll be able to find out a lot of IDRs across the web application. I cannot just say that this is a specific function where you can find out IDR. It could be anywhere. We have to look for different user specific IDs, and if you are able to find out that, you will be able to do IDR. Okay, for example, comment. Okay, if there is a feature where people can comment. Now I am deleting my own comment, so on delete request the ID is getting passed. Okay, that for which user the comment should be deleted. So if I change the user ID over there, the comment will be deleted of the other user, not mine. So this is what IDR is. Is that Indian company? Which one? MTRs again. I'm not getting your points. I'm not getting about cache hold. I'm not getting about this. Is that Indian company? If a site is vulnerable to SQL injection while okay, the Mobile Indian. If you are talking about the Mobile Indian, yes, it's an Indian company. If a site is vulnerable to SQL injection while executing the integer based or string based and get any error like contact to admin, etc., is it possible to further execute SQL injection, and how? So it depends on what type of message you are getting. Usually if you are getting any message like contact administrator, possibly there is a firewall, there is a web application firewall. Okay, and we can bypass open source firewall like Mod Security, but bypassing different firewalls like Incapsula, Imperva, Cloudflare, Sucuri, these are difficult one. How to check if my system has any alpha card? I just forgot to. You can download CPU-Z. Okay, you can download CPU-Z software, and you can see whether your system does have alpha card or not. Okay, just Google a bit. Utsavi. How do we bypass the privacy protection policy? Any reference? So it's like GoDaddy sucks. Okay, if you are purchasing your domain on GoDaddy, you should not be able to purchase your. If you are purchasing the domain on GoDaddy, don't purchase privacy protection policy. It's waste. Why? Because their own WHOIS database exposes everything. Even though you have purchased privacy protection policy, their own WHOIS database will expose all the information, and their own WHOIS database is publicly accessible. So purchasing privacy protection policy on GoDaddy is a waste of money. Of course, we can ask GoDaddy people to redact the information, but that's the additional thing. Okay, if you are very serious about your privacy, you can go ahead and ask the GoDaddy customer support, and then they will redact the information. But ideally, the information is publicly accessible, even though you purchase privacy protection policy from GoDaddy. Broken authentication or session management. If we want to learn more, can we have some reference reading material? OWASP testing guide is the best thing, Amarjit. OWASP testing guide. Okay, you should follow that. Sometimes like payload we use with domain name like attacker.net to exploit. How to do it? So on this attacker.net, you have your script, you have your JavaScript. Okay, so if you are passing this attacker.net as a source, like script src is equals to this, and then you are closing the script tag, it means that the script will be fetched from this particular attacker.net, and on this attacker.net there is a JavaScript payload available. Okay, so that's how we use it. For Bob Suite 2.0, just right click on the target host and scan, where you can find crawl option, which is similar as a spider tab. I will look into it. Okay, because there is, we have doubts on community edition, we have doubts on this, which is similar for the spider tab. Okay, I will look into it and I'll let you know. Okay. Okay, HTTPS flag and secure flag. No, HTTP only, not HTTPS. HTTP only flag and secure flag. Okay, how they work with cookies. Stuck the bit there. Okay, so HTTP only, as the name suggests. Okay, only the HTTP request will be allowed to fetch the cookies. No JavaScript will be allowed to fetch the cookies. So it nullifies the effect of cross-site scripting, because even though you are executing the script on the particular web application, you will not be able to access the cookies. Okay, because you have HTTP only flag set on that particular cookie. And secure flag is basically for a secure transmission of cookies over a network layer. So if you have set secure on the cookies, then on Wireshark, okay, on Wireshark nobody will be able to see your cookies in clear text. If secure flag is not set on cookies, while in the man in the middle attack using Wireshark, your cookies will be exposed in clear text. Okay, so that's what the difference is. Is there any reference links as we can go through for mobile app security testing? Mobile app, of course. So resources.infosec.institute, resources.infosecinstitute.com. There are a couple of tutorials available over there. At doubt clear session, I said those things: cache hole or Indian company. Okay, ignore. How I bypass filter while I got payload turn into, okay, no. So when your payload will turn into %delta semicolon and %gt semicolon, you cannot bypass it, because that's the secure implementation. That's the secure implementation. You cannot bypass, because the output encoding is proper over there. Do we report excesses if the HTTP only flag is set on session cookie? So in that case, you have to come up with a different impact. Okay, so try to increase the impact, like try to think what you can do more with the XSS if you cannot do cookie grabbing. So you can do redirection. So with the help of redirection, you can do SSRF. So with the help of SSRF, you may do internal SSRF or external SSRF. Okay, so if you do external SSRF, you can do cross-site port attack. A lot of things can be done, but for that you need to understand all these vulnerabilities first. I have tried 3-4 hours for 4 days on HackerOne and Bugcrowd, but did not able to find any bugs. I ended up frustrated. Okay, I have intermediate type knowledge in application security and working in this field for 2 years. So how to do it effectively? Okay, so 3-4 hours for 4 days. It's too less. It's too less MTRs for now, because there is a huge competition on HackerOne and Bugcrowd, and you have to be dedicated, passionate, unless you find out a problem which gets accepted. Of course, you will get a lot of frustration. You have to go through it. Okay, there is no shortcut to bug bounty. In this way. Okay, but I will give you some more ways tomorrow in the bug bounty blueprint. We are going to discuss about a lot of things tomorrow, which will motivate you, which will help you to understand, apart from these platforms, HackerOne and Bugcrowd, what else you can do. Okay, what are the different platforms, what are the open platforms, what are the closed platforms, everything. I'll discuss it tomorrow. Keep patience and keep dedication. You may get some duplicates, you may get some informative thing, you may not be able to find out the vulnerability also, but still you have to be motivated and keep yourself dedicated. What are the timings for tomorrow's session? Tomorrow's session is on 8 p.m. Make sure, okay, note it down. Tomorrow's session is not on 9:30. It's on 8:30 p.m. 8 p.m. Okay, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Make sure you note it down. Tomorrow's session is from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. 2 hours of lengthy session. We are going to go through the bug bounty blueprint. I'm going to give away like bonuses. Then we will have a Q&A session. Everything will be there tomorrow. So I hope if you have any other doubts, just let me know. Okay, let me check, Sushant. Let me check what do you have, Sushant. Okay. I answered this, I guess. Yeah. Through Wireshark we got access. I answered this. Is this the thing you are asking for? Wireshark 1. Okay, so let me again repeat that. Through Wireshark we got access to other colleagues details in case of insecure website, but I tried okay, I just answered that. With the help of Burp Suite you cannot do that, okay, because in Burp Suite you are intercepting only the HTTP traffic. All the TCP traffic, all the UDP traffic, okay, will not be intercepted in Wireshark. So when you have to do man in the middle attack, you have to do with the help of Wireshark, okay. And like the power of Wireshark and the Burp Suite is different. Both are different. Wireshark can run on a monitor mode. Burp Suite cannot run on a monitor mode, and that's what the main difference is. Because if Wireshark runs on a monitor mode, and then only you can fetch. I mean, you can do network sniffing, and you can fetch you can see the traffic of your colleagues as well in the Wireshark. In Burp Suite you cannot do that. Okay, unless let's say you give your IP address to your friend, okay, or a colleague, and if he inserts your IP address, your Burp Suite's IP address in his system, then you will get his traffic. Apart from that, you will not get his traffic. Okay, so forget the Burp Suite way. Wireshark way is the perfect way. How can we get invited to private program? Tomorrow Adarsh, okay, I will discuss this tomorrow. If I am new, how can I gain points on public programs? Everything tomorrow. Everything regarding bug bounty programs we will be covering up tomorrow. Do not worry. So I hope you have enjoyed this 2 days with me, with all the vulnerabilities that you have learned, and I'm hoping that you will give good results to me, okay, and yourself. So make sure, do practice this. Just do not think this as an ordinary course. This can seriously change your life if you practice it, and this is what I just wanted to make you learn in the fastest way. Okay, this is what the fastest way is. In 3 days you are going to learn about OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities with practical and real-time demonstrations and live Q&A sessions with me. Isn't that impactful, guys? In just 3 days, a lot of things. Perfect. So thanks a lot for your appreciation. With this, I think we can conclude today's session, and see you guys tomorrow with live Q&A session, with bug bounty blueprint, with bonuses and lot other stuff. All right, so that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Keep all the energy with you for tomorrow. It's going to be a 2-hour lengthy session, and make sure to come up with more doubts. Okay, make sure to watch out all the videos and give the results to yourself after this workshop. Don't just consider this workshop as a normal workshop. It can seriously change your life. Perfect. All right, goodbye, take care, good night everyone. See you guys tomorrow. Signing off for today.